Joining me also on the telecast is Amit Lakhotia. He is the founder and CEO of Park Plus company. Park Plus, in fact, helps set up EV charging stations for consumers, for residents particularly. All right, good to have you on the telecast. My first question, obviously, we would like to know what Park Plus does. How is it working towards building EV charging infrastructure in Delhi?
So I think a lot of work over a period of last 12 months have happened on the EV infra part in Delhi NCR. Like as you clearly see the number of EV vehicles getting, and I will talk about both four-wheeler as well as two-wheelers. Obviously there is a segment around three-wheelers also which is also doing well. But typically like where we concentrate is primarily four-wheelers and then a bit of a two-wheelers. So at a four-wheeler level, there is a reasonable scaling happening that in terms of EV cars. In fact, over a period of last 4 years, Tata clearly says that their numbers have gone up 80 to 100x in terms of sales. And this has to be supported by the charging infra. So most of the malls, if you look at, have the charging infra now in place. Like communication to the customer is hard, that there is infra available. But almost all top 5-star hotels also have infra within the city. A lot of corporate buildings also have the same infra available, both in terms of slow chargers, fast chargers, and everything. One change which has happened over a period of last 12-15 months is earlier most of the CPOs were giving chargers for free. Now the CPOs are not giving chargers for free. Now there is a commercial angle that is happening where they are asking the society or the corporate to put in money for the charger, and that's what is happening.
How many Park Plus EV charging stations have been set up so far? How many more are you hoping to install in the coming months?
So we would have put in close to about 900 to 1000 chargers over a period of last 8 to 12 months. And typically these are the chargers in society, these are the chargers in malls, corporates, etc. For example, Blackstone, one of the biggest real estate REIT in India, biggest global player, uses chargers put by Park Plus in their buildings. So Park Plus plays multiple roles. One is putting the chargers, but second is also, now we have also started facilitating the chargers to be used by the customers. Like one is the online discovery on the app platform, but second part is also like, for example, Park Plus would have enough valleys at a lot of places. So what happens is these valleys today, as if they spot a EV guy, they will say, sir, can I put your car on charging? So that is the way, one is the online communication, second is the offline through standees and everything, branding, and third is the offline communication. Offline is where the manual guy is standing, manual guy is asking for that.
All right, now, do you think the current electric vehicle charging stations meet the needs of the current electric vehicles that ply on the roads in Delhi?
Before we talk about the charging stations, like if you look at also like number of like the EV cars getting sold, if I take like last 8-month data in this current financial year, like I think roughly about 50,000 plus cars have been sold. Last year in the whole year, only I think 40,000 cars were sold. So this year we'll probably end up selling close to about, I think about 65-70,000 cars. So nearly 70% higher than the last year. So that numbers have been going up. Similarly, if you look at the EV charging point of view, like the chargers, like the government data clearly shows 10,000 plus chargers getting installed in Delhi NCR. Obviously, like the utilization, etc. still remains single digit. Like the utilization is not very high. Typically, the best of the chargers would be getting utilized at about 15-17% in terms of personal chargers. The captive chargers would like which are used for fleet, etc., would be at about 65%, 70% usage.
All right. Now, assuming that we expect all homes in Delhi to have an electric vehicle and all public transports and small trucks are also turning into electric vehicles in the next 5 to 10 years, how do we need to develop the EV charging infrastructure in Delhi?
So I think the important thing is obviously how to create a shared infra, because so far whatever the charging points are being put in, like a significant part of them, for example, when you buy a Tata car, they'll give you a charger. If you buy a MG car, they'll give you a charger. So that's an individual charger. but individual charges come with a cost and limited usage. Like for example, most EV guys would be charging their car only once a week. So maybe the charger is used like 4 hours a week type. So how do you, and this is what the challenge which the societies have now started facing, that they can't put a electric connection for every car, like it is expensive. So I think the first important thing is like how do you create a shared public infra, and for a lot of people, like for example, if you stay on a second floor in a independent floor, like there is no way you can put a charger on the ground floor. मतलब वो होगा नहीं. So what we'll have to do is create a shared infra. और जब तक वो shared infra नहीं बनेगा and उसकी guidelines and उस पे education, most people try to get independent chargers and that मतलब from a capex point of view, from expense point of view and from utilization point of view, they are fairly limited.
Okay.
तो जो बनाना पड़ेगा वो प्राइमरली ये बनाना पड़ेगा कि जो बनाना पड़ेगा वो उस तरह से बनाना पड़ेगा कि भाई वो शेयर्ड इंफ्रा कैसे बनेगा, उसकी विजिबिलिटी कैसे होगी, उसकी चार्जिंग कैसे होगी, उसकी प्राइसिंग कैसे होगी, एंड हाउ टू मेक श्योर दैट दैट इज गेटिंग यूज्ड.
Okay. Also, then a crucial question arises is Delhi's EV charging infrastructure, how is it, taking forward in its goal to encourage more citizens to switch to electric vehicles?
No, charging infra is fairly high because if you look at like the EV cars have started coming in the right budgets now. Like a couple of years back, most of the EV cars were 20 lakh plus. Now you have EV cars which are 10 lakh, around 10 lakh budget kind of a thing. So at least for the people who want to experiment with EV, like the cars are now available in the budget. So I don't think so car availability is the issue. What is the bigger issue is that confidence level in the people, that discovery of chargers is easier, and like if I take the car out, like it's the same problem which CNG guys used to face like 20 years, 10 years back. Like if I take the car to Chandigarh, like would I get enough charging on the way?
Yes.
And if there is only one CNG pump or two CNG pumps on the way, and if they are closed, and that prevented a lot of people to buy CNG. It is the same story with the EV also. It is primarily the range anxiety and the charging infra that is postponing the decision to buy an EV for a lot of people.
What do you think are the main challenges before the EV charging infrastructure companies today?
It's a chicken and egg. Like biggest problem for them is the utilization part. Like you have put in infra, like there is a cost to putting an infra, and if that infra is not getting used, like you can't recover the money. So like like the way the EV technology is changing, like the hardware which is getting put right now, in next 2-3 years, it will require a serious upgrade. Like a guy in 2027-28 will not be able to charge using the same infra because the same infra will become outdated by that time.
Correct.
So important for them is to make sure the utilization happens, but the utilization can't happen if people don't even know where the chargers are. So on the user side, user is bothered that are there enough chargers, and on the consumer side, the consumer is bothered like whether I will be able to figure out. So that communication that the chargers are available everywhere. Like for example, today you don't have to think about petrol pump कहाँ मिलेगा. Petrol pump हर जगह है ही है. Like ATM कहाँ मिलेगा, हर जगह है ही है. तो same thing can't be said about EV as of now.
All right. Amit Lakhotia
confidence
also
on the user side.
Yeah.
Building that confidence on the user side कि भाई chargers are available everywhere and they are available for utilization. It is important. That hasn't happened yet. Obviously, OEMs and government are putting in a lot of effort to do that. But we are still some time away from removing that range anxiety from the user side.
Okay. All right. Mr. Lakhotia, then do you think the governments, both at the central level as well as the state level, have done enough to encourage people across the country and particularly in the capital to switch to electric vehicles? And if they have, what is the roadmap ahead in being able to reach the peak?
Here the government has been doing multiple things, the FAME 1 subsidies, then the FAME 2 subsidies, like they have held the pricing to come down for both the two-wheelers as well as the four-wheelers. The government has been actively pushing. If you look at it, like a lot of state governments are coming and saying your next government vehicle purchase will be EV. Government has been pushing also the oil majors like IOCL, BPCL, etc., to put in chargers. Like, for example, we work with IOCL to put chargers in Delhi, NCR, on their petrol pumps, as well as places like Lotus Temple, etc. That's where we have put in those petrol pumps, chargers. So government has been pushing fairly hard. Government is also working closely with the location providers and everything. But I think because it's a massive change and it will take time and it will require a lot of communication. I think that part of the communication is still probably needs an upgrade.
Okay. Now, since we were talking about how petrol pumps and diesel pumps are available worldwide, available in India, and also the facility, also how it is facilitating, going about filling your car, whether it is petrol or diesel, it just takes about 5 minutes of your time. Can fast charging electric chargers stations be put up? Is there such a scope to reduce the time of charging your electric vehicles?
At petrol pumps and places like this, you see, slow charging would work at home and offices. But at public places, as well as your, like, for example, places like your petrol pumps, etc., that's where you require fast charging. Slow charging se hoga nahi wahan pe. Matlab, nobody is going to put charger car there, wait for 15 minutes and see that charging has increased only by 2%. वो होगा नहीं. So, matlab, the way I think is, at your home you are okay with slow charger because typically the charging would happen at night. At your office also, slow chargers are okay because once you have parked the car, you are not going to go there for another 8 hours. But at places like petrol pump, at places like hotels, places like hospitals, where you are going for a shorter duration, that is where you will require fast chargers.
Absolutely. Thank you, Amit Lakhotia from Park Plus Company, for joining us on the telecast, sharing your views. What is it that you anticipate from the government in terms of the policy changes, and how do you witness the roadmap for the country and particularly Delhi in achieving the e-vehicle target?
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.